Secretary, I want to get your reaction to a top Pentagon official warning Congress that China is actively preparing to attack Taiwan. Xi Jinping apparently says he's waiting until after the Olympics, which now is just 2 months away. Your thoughts on that, as well as the Beijing Olympics in general? I mean, this diplomatic boycott that the United States has led, what does that mean?
Maria, I think the fact that these Olympics are going to take place in China is a devastating statement about the International Olympic Committee and, frankly, global businesses' unwillingness to confront the challenge that the Chinese Communist Party presents. You're going to have major American corporations sponsoring athletes and sponsoring these games, supporting a regime that is holding 1 million people in internment camps in the western part of China. We're going to send American athletes to China, and we teach our kids, our young people, these talented athletes to speak freely. They're going to go to China, and if one of them should say, free Tibet, or good for the people of Hong Kong, or I support Taiwanese democracy, they may not get their exit visa granted. They may be stuck in China if they say something that the Chinese Communist Party determines as inconsistent with their national security threat. And these American companies need to understand that they are underwriting an adversary. They are providing resources and money to a corrupt regime that has the global intention of changing the way every American lives. We need to challenge the Chinese Communist Party on every front. When you hear a Chinese military leader say they're preparing and they'll fire on Americans if we do so much as help the democracy in Taiwan be successful, these are the kind of things that administration must confront, our business leaders have to confront. This is a serious challenge that confronts the United States of America, and we all need to be serious in the way the Trump administration was serious to confront China on every front, diplomatic, economic, and military.
And yet, Joe Biden had 4 calls with Xi Jinping this year. I mean, 4 calls that lasted hours, 3 hours long. And not once did Joe Biden raise the issue of the origins of COVID-19. We all know what has taken place here, that this virus that has killed 700,000 people in America, millions more across the world, originated in Wuhan, China. We don't know the details, if it was intentional or if it wasn't intentional. You've got companies like Apple doing a $275 billion deal with the CCP, where Apple promises the CCP it's going to train its people to make iPhones just so that Apple can get a good deal and Apple can get a better regulatory framework. Ray Dalio, another one, comparing, what happened in China where they disappeared Jack Ma, they disappeared this tennis star. He says it's, that's like a strict parent.
Yes, this isn't like a strict parent. This is like communist leaders that we know, whether that's Stalin or Mao. We know these kinds of dictators and what they mean for freedom around the world and American prosperity, and we have to confront it. Our business leaders can't engage in this kind of moral relativism. But in the first instance, Maria, we've talked about this. This is a government responsibility. The Chinese Communist Party knew they had a dangerous virus on their hands. They allowed it to travel across the world, and the result has been millions of deaths. We need to, again, redouble our efforts to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable. I'm continuing to work on that. This is very important. This virus, that your point is right, has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans and millions of people and destroyed so many lives in the United States. And now we're permitting the Chinese to bring fentanyl across our border, threaten the Taiwanese democracy, and hold an Olympic Games. This is something that the world's going to have to work on, and the American government, President Biden and his team, need to lead that. So far, they have failed in that miserably.